In terms of Facebook, what do you think is their model? We know they get a lot of ads. Is that going to be running into Google big time?
I think that they'll stay in their separate places. I think Facebook's really focused on building the social graph, really connecting everyone in the world, probably with the exception of China, but really connecting everyone in the world. Google's focus is advertising and obviously trying to get more involved with the phones. But in terms of Facebook, just the impressions are mind-boggling. Last year they served about 14 trillion ads. So it's hard to get our head around how big this platform is, and it's growing at about 200 million users a year. I think Facebook, it's not about, in terms of monetization in the story, it's not about what's happening 2012 or 2014. They're very focused on the user experience. They don't want to abuse the user experience with too many ads, and so they're going slow at it. But eventually, this is real. Facebook is not going to go the way of MySpace. It's going to be part of the fabric of the internet for the next 2 decades.
What did they do right in MySpace and the Friendster and all the others do wrong?
It started as a closed network. That was the biggest thing. There was an invite network, and what that ended up doing is creating people just basically put their own, their real identities up. And that is really the difference. On MySpace, people would have crazy fake names, and kind of the same with Friendster, and I think that was the core difference between Facebook and some of these others.
Looking at the web, we know what it's done to our industry. People say this wave is going to hit other industries. How do you see the web unfolding and enveloping the world?
Well, I think that when we look back 10 years from now, I think the web today is going to look still very elementary, and I think there's still a lot of innovation that's going to come. A lot of it's going to become with apps and continuing to progress. Basically, the ability to turn your phone into something else through these app stores. Right now, Apple, for example, has about 600,000 apps, but I think the progression of apps is going to be one thing that's going to really change the web. I think things like Facebook, they have something, this open graph that allows third parties to build applications on top of Facebook. One of them was Zynga with the gaming phenomenon that's really kicked off, but I think you're going to see more and more of that, which is going to really change kind of the social fabric. And then lastly, I think that how we view the internet, it's just going to be ubiquitous. We still feel like we're reaching out to the internet, but I think it won't be that. It's just going to be part of our everyday lives.
What's the lesson of Yahoo?
The lesson of Yahoo is you got to innovate. I think that they've got some great products, sports, finance, news, but they've missed some big curves. They missed the what happened in social. They missed search. They missed arguably video. They're there today. So I think the lesson is that pay up. I mean, they had an opportunity to buy Facebook, and that they decided not to because of the price. And I think when you see a good technology and you believe in it, don't get price sensitive. And I think if they weren't price sensitive, it would be a very different story than what we're talking about today.
So you think that's a lesson, obviously, Facebook has learned?
Yeah, they paid $1 billion for Instagram. Doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. If you look at when Google bought YouTube, for example, over $1 billion, people are really scratching their heads. What are they doing? What are the metrics to value this? And what it was is a bunch of smart people that saw a trend and really wanted to get ahead of it. And I think that part of the culture is something that Yahoo didn't have under the leadership of Scott Thompson. I think maybe that could change, but that's something that the lesson to be learned.